Hi there, and welcome to the Everyday Entrepreneur Podcast, where I, Caitlin Fritz, help you reach your entrepreneurial potential. Together, we can build your dream social impact business so that you can leave a legacy beyond your 9-to-5. Hello, and welcome to this very first episode of 2024. I just wanted to wish you a happy new year. I feel like just yesterday, it was probably like 2019, 2020, and wow, it's been a ride since then. And if you're new here, welcome. I am so excited to have you. My name is Caitlin Fritz, and I am an award-winning entrepreneur. I'm an enterprise educator who's worked with universities and accelerators around the world, and business coach. And throughout my time since 2020, I have supported over 650 incredible founders who are building impact-led businesses. And together, through coaching, workshops, or additional programs, I have supported them to build, grow, and scale their venture. So whether you are a solopreneur or a side hustler starting out, or a more established social impact venture, welcome. We welcome everyone here at Everyday Entrepreneurship. And today I want to share with you how I am designing my year a little differently. But before I jump into how I'm designing my year, I just want to share with you 3 lessons that I learned in 2023 that helped me make this decision to kind of revamp the way I work professionally and personally. So 2023, not gonna lie, was a heck of a year for me personally. I know there's been a lot going on for everyone, but in my family, we had the death of a really close family member, dealing with that, and of course, kind of the mental health ripple effects coming off of that. It was also a year where I was finishing up a high-powered MBA at the University of Cambridge. So going to school, running a business, all of that in between was really, really messy. And it was also the year where I trialed some new offerings. Some which landed, like this incredible podcast, and some which absolutely flopped, and that's part of the journey. But 3 of the key takeaways that I had in 2023 were these. So first takeaway was that boundaries won't break my business. In 2021 and 2022, I kind of jumped at every opportunity that was thrown my way. I was really excited, and I wanted to tailor my content, tailor my workshops to every single client. So basically, I was a yes girl. There was an opportunity, I said yes. And now I recognize I'm a recovering yes girl. I learned that bending over backwards for every business opportunity is not a way to grow a business, and is not a way to have a fulfilling professional life. There were other things in my life that suffered because I was bending over backwards. And saying no is not a bad thing. It's a boundaries thing. And I recognize moving forward in my business, I need to have firmer and more consistent boundaries in really everything I do. The second thing that was a key takeaway in 2023 was really embracing the uncomfortable. So, like I mentioned earlier, in 2023, I ripped off the Band-Aid with a lot of offers that have been in my head, that were consistently on my mind, like this podcast, which was honestly on my mind since 2020. But I was really just too afraid to do. I didn't want to put myself out there. I didn't want to be visible. I didn't want to, I really didn't think I was going to be, as successful. And by embracing the uncomfortable, I was building a habit of pushing myself and stretching myself. And like I mentioned, some offers worked, others fell flat. But going through the process, going through that uncomfortable middle allowed me to become even more fearless in everything I do. And the third takeaway I had in 2023 was being consistent is better than being perfect. So my 2023 word of the year was consistency. whew, there were a lot of things in 2023 that were not consistent. But once again, for me, it was all about the process and embracing that habit of showing up. It was building a routine in business, showing up online, and by practicing that, it opened me up to more opportunities, more meaningful connections, and also a more, efficient way of working in my own lifestyle. So those were the 3 things I learned from 2023. And now I'm going to share 3 ways I am designing my new year in 2024. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I've already been doing it, is embrace the 12-week year. Now, if you've never heard of the 12-week year, it is an incredible book that allows you to break down your year into 12-week chunks. Like they say on the can or on the book cover, it allows you to get more done in 12 weeks than others get done in 12 months. And it's written by 2 experts, Brian P. Morgan and Michael Lennington. And what they do is share with you how to have a more efficient year by breaking it down into 12 weeks. I'm not talking about breaking things down into quarters. It is, think of your actual calendar year as being 12 weeks. And honestly, it increases efficiency. I've already seen it even though we're in January. Because the 12-week year system allows you to have some increased predictability. So you know what's going to happen, what your goals are for those specific 12 weeks, and what greater vision you're working towards. And if you're like me, who's someone who is multi-passionate and really loves a lot of things, having a 12-week year allows me to have focus. There's urgency. There's deadlines. It's a short period. And by having those deadlines, I know I'm working towards something and I'm able to produce my best work. And it also allows you to have improved structure really across your whole business. You can stop and reflect and, measure against those milestones in those 12 weeks. You build better, more defined goals. And honestly, you can break it down week by week. And for me, I even break it down day by day. I know going in whether I want to or not what I'm doing that day. And with a 12-week year, you can't really have, a bad quote unquote month. You can probably have a bad week, but you get back, pull yourself up from the bootstraps, and continue with the plan. So I'll share with you again in March how this is going after my first quote unquote year, but I'm really excited with this kind of productivity process, and I will share a link in the show notes to the book. The second thing I am doing is refining and simplifying my offers. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm a recovering yes person, but in 2024, I know where my strengths and my areas of genius lie. And all of my programs, my content, my workshops, webinars, and coaching will align with these. Because I want to give my community, listeners like you, the best experience and the best way to really engage in a community of impact-led businesses. So simplifying, refining, and creating an amazing offer suite that people can pick from rather than bending over backwards for every custom project is in the cards for me in 2024. And last but not least, I am taking on a honestly more energized and positive mindset. So like I mentioned, 2023, there were definitely some highs and lows in my own mental health, dealing with, what's been happening personally. But my word of the year for 2024 is actually 2 words because I couldn't decide. Unapologetically optimistic. I am someone who really, I feel like as a kid was super optimistic. Nothing could stop me. The world was my oyster. And I feel like life just kind of tampered that a little bit. And I'm embracing that thread of optimism because I truly believe if I can project this energy and look on the bright side and really reframe my own thoughts, that honestly already has affected the way I look at business opportunities, speaking opportunities, instead of going into the mindset of, oh, they probably already have their keynote speaker or their panel lined up. Why are they going to choose me? I'm flipping it on its head. Why wouldn't they choose me? And if not this year, it's next year I'll be on that stage. Having that attitude honestly just makes work more enjoyable, and it makes my day-to-day kind of processes more exciting and more energized. So in 2024, I am embracing the 12-week year, a simplified offer suite, and a new energized mindset. I would love to hear from you. How are you approaching this new year? What are on your agenda, your deck of cards for 2024? If there's any tips and tricks, drop me a DM on Instagram. I would love to share them on the show or with the audience in the content and some stories. So don't be a stranger at _Caitlin Fritz _. And maybe you're listening in today and thinking, hey, 2024 is the year I'm starting a business. 2024, I'm becoming my own boss. And I'm here to tell you, you can absolutely do it. You can have a business up and running in, I would say, 60 to 90 days. And I'm here to support you on that journey. So be on the lookout for my new offerings, workshops, and programs launching later this month. I'm really excited about. And drop me a line if you're interested in some custom coaching so we can meet you where you are and move the needle on your business. So sign up on the newsletter in the show notes. And once again, do not be a stranger. If you've enjoyed this show, give me a review, a rating. I always appreciate that. And once again, coming up this month, we have some great interviews, some more practical tips, and inspiration for you. Until next time, this is Everyday Entrepreneurship. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Everyday Entrepreneurship. To stay tuned and most up to date, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow me, Caitlin Fritz, on Instagram. And if you have any questions about building your business with impact, drop me an email with the link in the show notes. This podcast is produced by the great people at the Podcast Boutique. I look forward to catching up with you next week. See you then.